Hallelujah! Thank the gods. Isn't it sublime? We've waited so long for this, intrepid viewers. Welcome to everybody, trendsetters from all over the world. Here we are celebrating this moment of the FBI raiding Mar-a-Lago. Everything's good about that sentence. You've got to love it. Finally, it's happening. It is so happening. So straight off, we'll have to have a look at that. But suddenly, there is all this good news coming on board. You know, bills being passed and all sorts of things. In other news, Giuliani was supposed to testify in Georgia and was waving a letter from his doctor saying, I can't fly. And the judge said, I don't care. You can get a bus or a train. You will testify on the 9th. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. And I have more, which I'll get to after this, but let's have a look at the Mar-a-Lago raid itself. He's jumping up and down. Michael Cohen must be one of the happiest men in America as we speak. And I will say myself, as a young activist, having been through police raids in 2 countries, they're not fun, but I assume he wasn't there. He was in Bedminster. Have you noticed he never stays in Trump Tower? And I think there's 2 reasons for that. New York hates him, so wherever he goes, people spit on the pavement. But also he doesn't own Trump Tower. He only owned a bit under half of it in his heyday, and I think he sold it off. Anyway, probably. But regardless, they are looking for documents. And he has, since the beginning, he's failed to keep records and all of that. And I will point out from Glenn Kushner, it's a felony to conceal, remove, or mutilate federal records. And he's done all of that. And did you hear there's actual photographs now leaked by a staff member of documents being flushed down the toilet? I wasn't sure I even believed that story at the time, but apparently, yes, to the extent it caused plumbing issues on Air Force One and the White House. So, I'm delirious. I'm quite manic with lack of sleep. So let's have a look at the raid. What will be revealed? How will he handle it? All of those things. Oops, there we go. Yeah. Okay, we're kicking off here with the 3 of Pentacles. This is dark money collusion. Collusion. My favorite C word, at least for this week. Yep. Okay, so they're looking for that. I think he is pained by this. I don't think he thought it would ever happen. After all, I'm the Yeti in chief. It can't happen to me. So this is a dagger to the heart in every way. He's severely restricted with this 4 of Swords, because if you look at this figure here, if they sit up suddenly, they would be pierced by 3 swords. So, see the 4th sword's here. But look, swords. Yeah, weapons. On top of the collusion card and dark money, you have legacy money. So this will be, where did the money come from and where did it go? Right. So they're certainly following the money trail as well. Justice looms large, thrilling, absolutely thrilling. And he's already wounded by this. Just the fact it happened is another dimension in the whole saga. But speaking of money, a little digression, intrepid viewers. Paul Manafort, who should be in jail but got a pardon, that Paul Manafort, the campaign manager, has admitted to Business Insider newspaper, yes, he did pass on information during the campaign in 2016. All this Russia witch hunt nonsense, no, he admitted it. Why did he do it? For money. So Manafort is involved in all this filthiness as well. Right. Now, we'll just take a moment to process this. It is massive. Now, Merrick Garland, we were holding a candle going, oh, please, Merrick, get this right. We didn't want to see another Mueller. Frankly, I don't think we could have coped with another sabotaged expose. We just simply couldn't have coped. So we don't have to. It's bliss. But with all this going on, Garland has also charged 4 current and ex-police officers with the Breonna Taylor shooting. And that is very, 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 very important. And I don't want to see it get lost in the maelstrom and the storm that's going on around the bust in Mar-a-Lago. So, where to next? Oh, my new hero of the hour has to be Senator Sheldon Whitehouse. A few of you have written to me about him. He's fantastic. And he pinned down Christopher Wray. During the week, there was an investigation. So I will put up the link to that with this video. So check out anything that Sheldon Whitehouse is doing. He's really sane, really sensible, and he's a very good investigator in his own right. And that all comes back to Kavanaugh. This is where the good news keeps going, right? And the clip I'm going to put up, if I can find it, is actually saying to the FBI, there were all these tips sent to the FBI about Kavanaugh's, I'll be polite, inappropriate behaviour, and they weren't investigated. And he really nails him to the wall. Why weren't they investigated? Now, this opens the way, long-term, because none of this stuff is quick, this opens the way for having Kavanaugh's confirmation reconsidered. And credit to Linda G. She said from the beginning, I see Kavanaugh leaving. I thought it was too good to be true, but go, Linda. This could lead to an expulsion of Kavanaugh. Could be another vacancy on the bench. They're dropping like flies. Okay, so let's have a little look at that. Will this impact on Kavanaugh's appointment? Will this impact on Kavanaugh? Oops. Will this? Yes. Brett Kavanaugh. Oh, Well, I think these cards are explicit, right? So let me show you. The main card, the signifier, is walking away. He might have to go before he's pushed, or choose to go before he's pushed. Do we care? No. Just go. Auf Wiedersehen. Okay. Fool's gold. This was the opportunity to become a Supreme Court judge. Right, but it was fool's gold. They were very stupid to push him through because he was such a flawed candidate, right? So this comes wafting back to the GOP. This is, I think, the women who, and you can be assured, most of the complaints or the tips would have been passed on by women. They've now got their sword raised. This isn't going to go away. And he will be persona non grata down the track. And his Stepford wife, you know, who stood by him during all the testimony by Basie Ford and all of that. Oh, why do these women stick by these men? Mind you, they don't all. There's a lot of the J6 insurrectionists have been handed in by their own children or their ex-wives. So, wow. So go Sheldon Whitehouse. Now, before this raid at Mar-a-Lago, Trump's lawyers were already talking with the DOJ about issues of privilege, which meant things were quite advanced anyway. This is just icing on the cake, right? Because he contravened so many things. The biggest headache for the DOJ is which 27 crimes will they concentrate on out of the 149 that he did every day of the week? You know, it's like that. So let's have a look here. What are Trump, this is what I'm interested in. What are Trump's lawyers, who's left of them, and he's only got sixth-rate lawyers now. How are they going to handle this? How are they going to handle him? Legally, how are they going to handle the Yeti? Come on. Oh, they got that card again, the Fool's Gold. Okay, this, I think, the victory card comes out on top, and I don't think it's the Yeti. I think this is the DOJ on a roll. They've already, this figure here has already won certain battles and is victorious. So I think this is icing on the cake, like I said. Trump's lawyers themselves will be looking for things. How can they find something to defend him with? They'll be ringing everybody that is in their, I was going to say their Rolodex, that dates me, but you know what I mean. This is ringing everybody for help, bringing everybody on board to help. Unfortunately, people aren't that wild about helping the Yeti anymore. This is the illusion that he still has power. See, they're trying to work the relationships that a year ago people would have been wetting their pants to have something to do with him, now want nothing to do with him. And they're extremely confused about how to move forward with any sort of defense. And it's like we've seen with Alex Jones and the various ones as they come on, the caliber of legal support with these indefensible acts, the actual cases get weaker and weaker and to the point where they're absolutely ludicrous. And this is what Giuliani's facing at the moment too. So this is the key. And their mission, Trump's lawyers, is fool's gold, once again. Not always the meaning of this card, but today it certainly is coming up as that. Right. Oh my God. Now, in other news, so Pat Cipollone has been subpoenaed to a federal grand jury about J6. So we know what he said and didn't say at the J6 hearings. It's gone to another level. His lawyers are talking about what's privileged and what isn't. But we all know now, because we're all lawyers now, the Yeti isn't the serving president. Biden can invoke privilege or rescind it, and he's not pushing the card for privilege. So Pat Cipollone is going to be hanging out in his underpants. So while he's in his boxer shorts, he will have to testify. And I think this is going to be a big one. Oh, before I get to him, during the week, Truth Social turned up on my feed. And I was very tempted to have a look, but I thought, oh, it'll never go away. It'll keep coming up. And I'm pleased to report it had 5,700 views. That means it hasn't got traction and it never will, right? Okay, with all the resources behind it, 5,000 views, no. Okay, Cipollone, is he going to really do it this time and throw Trump? I'm sick of the expression under the bus. Will he throw him off the jetty? Because I doubt he can swim. Can you see the Yeti swimming? No. Pat Cipollone's testimony. And what's been great about all this, it's been the underlings who have had the courage to speak up, to embarrass their bosses. You know. Oh. Okay, here we go. Oh, yes. He wants a happy life. Now, in Trump land, having a happy life means not going to jail. That's all it means anymore. He's in the wars and he knows it. Part of him is nostalgic. Back in the good old days when we could lie and cheat and no one did anything. Nostalgia, excuse me. But maybe I'm being a bit sarcastic and a bit unfair. Maybe I'm not, but I'll try and be kind. Maybe this is a nostalgia for respect for the law. Like when he took his own oaths of office and it meant something. It could be that nostalgia. And it could be his own family pushing him to speak up. He will do a deal with prosecutors, there is no doubt, and the Queen of Wands will decide his fate. Loving it. Now, we've barely had time to mention the bills. There was something else. Oh, I know what it was. You know how the texts from everywhere disappeared simultaneously, right? The Secret Service, Homeland Security, and the Department of Defense, the Pentagon. And more legal eagles are talking about that in terms of it had to be directed. At first, I think we all thought, oh, it was just rogue actors put in by the Yeti and they were doing their bit and being unprofessional, all of that. But now it's too many agencies in such a tight time frame. So I'm going to pull some cards because you'd have to assume now it was ordered from the White House. Who ordered the destruction of those texts? Who actually ordered it? Who ordered it? Let's have a look. Oh, this is very calming. Oh my God. I'm getting a vibe here. I'm going to stick my neck out. And I think it was more, there's three here with the women celebrating, but I don't necessarily think this card's literal in this case. I think it was three people decided. The Yeti's not strategic. He hasn't got a strategic bone in his very unattractive body. He's not the strategist. So I'm going to say there were three of them. And they would have had to be very tight to make this happen. I think Mark Meadows would be one. I'd say Giuliani would be one. I'm not quite sure. You can have a think. Who do you think the third one is? It could be the Yeti saying, make this go away, make this go, and the other two deciding. But I think it was three other people. So I'm going to say Mark Meadows, Giuliani, it could be one of the Sydney Powells or one of those. There's a third one in there. This is the Wheel of Fortune, not just for them, not just for the Yeti. This is for America. This is a turning point for America. It's so important because these are the pillars of a working democracy, these organizations. And if they're corrupt, and these are, not totally, of course, there's good people working there, but they have been corrupted. It's a tower for all these organizations. They will have to be virtually dismantled and a massive rehire, retrain, and, as I've said before in previous videos, get in onto HR, find out who was there for the last 15 years doing their job and get them back. Because this is a tower situation, right? But it had to get this bad because people weren't taking much notice of things. People are more worried about kitchen table issues. They take their eye off the ball. And now look how engaged so many Americans are with the voting system who weren't before and wouldn't have been otherwise. That's not, where was it? Arizona, the polling booths ran out of things again. Now, that could be a sabotage act, but probably not. They probably thought, oh, only X many people vote in primaries. We've got enough. No. People are champing at the bit. So please, this is not a time to just relax and go, oh, there'll be a blue wave. That'll be great. No, please, please, please be part of the blue wave and take someone with you. Now, intrepid viewers, I just had a manic phone call with Dave from Moonride. We're both buzzing. So we're going to try and get together in about an hour's time and do a joint video on the raid and other things. So after you've watched this, you can go to Moonride. That is, of course, if we get it together. Okay. Excitement. Love, 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 love. Let me know your thoughts. Bye.